Hey guys, I'm back and I'm here to do the mid-year freakout tag for 2024. I can't remember if I actually did this one last year or not, but I thought, why not? I'll do it this year since I haven't done it in a while, I don't think. So let's just get started. So the first prompt is best book you've read so far in 2024. I have to admit, this is kind of hard because I've read a lot of 5-star books this year, but most of them are rereads. I'm going to pick one that I have read for the first time. And I have to go with Edward P. Jones' The Known World. We read that in February for the Read So Lit read along, and it was so good. I just was like, I was blown away because I thought, wow, procrastination is a thing. Because there's many times when I had gone to pick this book up and then it didn't happen. So I'm just really glad that it did happen for February. I absolutely enjoyed reading The Known World and can't wait to pick up his other books. Okay, best sequel you've read so far in 2024. Okay, now, I don't often read a series. It's not really my thing. But the only thing that I have read that was in a sequence was the reread of l'Odyssée d'Hakim, which is the Odyssey of Hakim, which is the immigrant story of Hakim, who is leaving Syria and going to France. And that one, I read the whole thing all over again because they happened to be in my husband's picks for me. And I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first time I read them. They were all 5 stars. So, Odyssey, I can't. All right, next we have new release you haven't read yet, but want to. Okay, duh. 54 Miles. Now, y'all, I don't need to explain to you why. You know why. I love Leonard Pitts Jr. 54 Miles is the sequel to The Last Thing You Surrender. So, yeah, duh. I want to read that. All right. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I don't know. This was kind of difficult. I think the only thing I could think of was The Unicorn Woman by Gail Jones. I think it's coming out the end of August, maybe beginning of September. I'm not sure. But it was the only thing I could really think of because, I don't really, keep up with the new releases like that. It's like I should have had something on top of my head, but I don't. I can only think of The Unicorn Woman by Gail Jones. Yeah. All right, biggest disappointment. Oh, that was easy. Huckleberry Finn. All I'm going to say is I don't know why they're making kids read this at school. Horrible. I would not recommend. And for me, it was a reread because I read it a long time ago. I think it was either in college or I think it was in college because it was for some particular class with a theme. We had to read Huckleberry Finn. And I was just like, why? Why do people think this is good? Anyway, biggest surprise was Lone Women because Lone Women is fantasy / horror, which is absolutely not in my genre of reading that I like to read. As a matter of fact, I stay clear away from horror and, and fantasy. But I absolutely loved the way that book was written and loved the storyline and loved the suspense. Got to be the biggest surprise of the year so far was Lone Women. All right, favorite new author. I don't really have a favorite new author. I mean, I have to go with Edward P. Jones because really I adored the writing in the known world. I enjoyed that writing so much in the known world, and the writing, but the complexity of the story, it was a real experience. So I guess I'd have to go with favorite new author, or should I say new to me author, Edward P. Jones. Okay, newest fictional crush. This is not really something, I don't know. I don't have a new fictional crush. New favorite character. Okay, I can go with the new favorite character. I'm gonna go with Amelia Pesant. She is the main character in Daughters of the Dust by Julie Dash. I like that character because that character in the story is learning about what it is to be a woman, but also she's learning about her family, and she's learning all of this in an environment that is absolutely not what she's used to. And it just, yeah, I really liked her character because we really felt how open she was to the people that she was meeting. She was open to the place, and she was growing into a more confident woman. And I enjoyed reading that story because of that. See, book that made you cry. Hands down, An Untamed State. Ooh, child. Yeah, I shed a tear for that one. Book that made you happy. Now, I wouldn't say it made me, well, yeah, I guess, happy, but it made me laugh more than anything, is Let Me Liberate You by Andy Davis. That book was funny to me. And it's just, like I said, previously, I don't often laugh in some of the books that I'm reading. A lot of the books I'm reading, they're either going to make you cry, they're going to get you depressed. They're not happy books. So Let Me Liberate You was, yeah, changing my reading life, reading that one. Now it's making me want to go out and look for other books that are going to make me laugh. Let's see. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year. Gotta be hands down this one. The Secret Diaries of Charles Ignatius Sanchez. Look how beautiful this book is. Look how beautiful this book is. I just think it's so, so pretty. So, 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 so pretty. Definitely a really pretty book. Love it. And it even has like a bookmark as well. Okay. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Okay, now here we go. I have a very big stack here. So we're going to take it one book at a time. So the first one is this one right here, Evil Eye by Etef Rum. And I read her first book, A Woman Is No Man, during the pandemic, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to getting to this one. Now, it's not that long of a book, but I've just been picking over some of the new books that I have received or I have ordered. So this one I'm looking forward to reading before the end of the year. Next one we have is this one right here, The American Daughters, and this is by Maurice Carlos Ruffin. This was gifted to me by the publishers. And I mean, this book is gonna be excellent. It says, a gripping novel about a spirited girl who joins a sisterhood bound by love and justice, working to undermine the Confederates. Addie, a curious, sharp-witted girl, and her mother, Sanit, are inseparable. Enslaved to a businessman in the French Quarter of New Orleans, the pair spend their days dreaming of a loving future and reminiscing about their family's rebellious and storied history. When mother and daughter are separated, Addie is left unmoored until she stumbles into the Mockingbird Inn and meets Lenore, a free Black woman with whom she becomes fast friends. Lenore invites Addie to join a clandestine society of spies called the Daughters. With the courage instilled in her by Senate, with help from these strong women, Addie learns how to put herself first. So begins her journey toward liberation and imagining a new future. So I'm excited. I've been excited for a while to get to this one because I did not enjoy We Cast a Shadow, which was his first book. And I have not read his second book, which was a short story collection. So I've got this one now, so I'm going to read this one. Like, I'm going to definitely read this one. Okay, the next one is this one right here, Interent Ghost by Isabel Hamad. Now, Isabel Hamad is a Palestinian writer. I think she's British Palestinian. And I read her first book, The Parisian, and I loved it. So I need to read the second one, you know. This one, it says, after years away from her family's homeland and reeling from a disastrous love affair, actress Sonia Nasir returns to Haifa to visit her older sister Haneen. While Haneen made a life here commuting to Tel Aviv to teach at the university, Sonia remained in London to focus on her acting career and now desolate marriage. On her return, she finds her relationship to Palestine is fragile, both bone deep and new. So I'm looking forward to this one. I hear it's got some pretty interesting techniques and things going on in it. So I really want to get to this one before the end of the year. Okay, next one is Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. Heard nothing but really cool things about this one. Yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see what's happening with it. Hopefully I'm going to love this because Kaveh Akbar is coming to the Festival of America in September. So I would love to get my book signed if I really like the book. So got to get on it. The next book I have on my list is Colson Whitehand's Crook Manifesto. And I read Harlem Shuffle with my book club in Normandy and absolutely loved that book. I feel like people that don't like that book, they don't understand the way Colson Whitehead writes. He really writes to show you about a character or about what a character's living. He's not like describing it out like it's a movie film or anything. But he's very good at talking about a main character as they develop into something else, but also in conjunction with the main character's community. And that's where he hits the nail on the head, in my opinion, is Colson Whitehead with this series. So I'm excited to get to Crook Manifesto, which is book 2. I don't want to wait on this one at all because, I mean, we just read Harlem Shuffle. I think it was in June. So yeah, I want to get to Crook Manifesto because also Colson Whitehead is going to be at the Festival of America in September. So I would love to get this and Harlem Shuffle signed because he signed all my other books. Oh yeah, I got to get him to sign John Henry Days as well because that's one that I had to rebuy because the paperback edition, the print was so small, I could not read it. All right, and then we have this other one right here called Hours by Philip B. Williams. Now, this right here is a really beautiful cover as well because it really does go all the way around. All right. So this one, it says, an epic novel of a community striving to live ordinary lives of love and pain in America's darkest days. In the mid-1800s, I'm sold. A fearsome and powerful conjure woman named Saint annihilates plantations in the South to rescue the enslaved. She brings those she has freed to a haven of her own creation, a town magically concealed from outsiders named Ours. In this miraculous place, a community takes root where the people may flourish. But although Saint does her best to protect the inhabitants, her conjuring and memories begin to betray her, leaving the town vulnerable to intrusions by newcomers with powers of their own. As the cracks in Saint's creation are exposed, some begin to wonder whether the safety and freedom of ours might be yet another form of bondage. Set over the course of 4 decades and steeped in a rich tradition of American literature, Black surrealism, mythology, and spirituality, ours is a stunning exploration of the possibilities and limitations of love and freedom by a writer of huge vision and talent. So, yeah, this one right here, and this one is, yeah, it's quite the chunker. I'm not even going to lie. This one is coming in at 573 pages. So, but the font size is okay. You know, it's not super small. But this one, when it came out, I bought it right away. And I still haven't read it. And I want to read it before the end of the year. Now, one more I have on my list is this one right here. Acts of Forgiveness by Mara Cheeks. This is one that I have not been able to get to yet. And it says, every American waits with bated breath to see whether or not the country's first female president will pass the Forgiveness Act. The bill would allow Black families to claim up to $175,000 if they can prove they are the descendants of slaves. And for ambitious single mother Willie Revel, the bill could be a long-awaited form of redemption. A decade ago, Willie gave up her burgeoning journalism career to help run her father's struggling construction company in Philadelphia, and she has reluctantly put family first without being able to forget who she might have become. Now she's back living with her parents and her young daughter while trying to keep her family from going into bankruptcy. Could the Forgiveness Act uncover her forgotten roots while also helping save their beloved home and her father's life's work? So, yeah. So this one I also received from the publishers and have not had a chance to get to it yet. And I want to. Haven't heard a lot of people talk about this one, but I like the premise of it. I'm kind of interested to see what she'll do with this. So, those are all of the books that I desperately would love to get to. There's 7. What am I waiting on? What am I waiting on? So, we will see if I manage to make it. I will go back, you know, once I've gotten to the end of the year and see that if I've actually read any, or if I've read any of these. Hopefully, it'll happen. So, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So that's all I have for you today for the mid-year freakout tag. Comment below if you have any opinions on the books that I've chosen that I want to read before the end of the year, or on anything else. Just comment and let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Happy reading, and I'll speak with you really soon in another video. Bye-bye.